All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Kwadash, double honesty, apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how it's not going to end very well for Babylon the Great, right? They've got an arrogant nature, and they assume that they're just going to be around forever, but that is not, right? That is not the way how it's going to go. And the way how America deals, which is Babylon the Great, the way how they deal is the same exact way how all of these Edomites think in general, right? They always think that they're going to be around living life, just doing things on earth, but they're not going to be, right? And that's the most beautiful thing, because they're the ones that are causing for the earth to be destroyed, yet they somehow think in their mind that they're actually the best people, right? This is Psalm 73 and verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And that's what it can be sometimes. When you don't know before you actually are enlightened to know what's going to happen to these people, you can be a bit envious of them. But when you actually know what's going to happen to them and where their path actually leads to, then you're like, well, what the hell am I worried about from them for? Like, they're going to be done. They ain't nothing to worry about from these people, because they're going to be destroyed in the worst way possible, man. They're going to be completely exterminated in the worst way possible. Yet they're thinking in their mind that they're going to be able to somehow antagonize us and cause for bad things to happen in our lives. But it's going to actually be them that goes through these things. It's going to actually be them that goes through these things, man. These stupid, man, these demons, man. Right? These people that you can see why. Like, we don't, when we hear about Obadiah, smiles start to raise upon our face. We don't think, oh man, why though? Why couldn't it have been Ishmael or something that was gonna go through that? Nah, I'm thinking, yep, I understand exactly why. I understand exactly why these people are gonna go through that. They don't deserve nothing else, right? And when I look at the Israelites, even though the Israelites are destroyed, when you look at the remnant, right, the people that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, I was like, man, it wouldn't be. I can understand why Yahweh would spare them to keep that nation going, because Israelites are ugly and beautiful at the same time. But the heathen, especially, well, Esau in particular, he's ugly all the time. He's just ugly all the time. He ain't never good. They ain't never good. They don't ever do the right thing. They're always getting it wrong. They're always messing up, man. All the time. When is it being that they've ever started doing the right thing? When? They've had power over the world for centuries. Have they started doing the right thing yet? No, they haven't. They've continued. They might have increased technology, but they didn't increase this technology in this world alone. They might boast in America, but America is not a example of 100% Edomite effort. Every single different nation from around the world really helped America be like what it is. But they won't admit that though. They'll try and say, oh, this is our thing and this is our skills. No, it's not. You're actually lying. You're actually lying about that. Verse 4, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they played like other men. And America right now is going through this kind of thing. This is applied to it cannot be applied to the Edomites in general. But then if it can be applied to the Edomites in general, how much more their chief city, their chief country? Right? They ain't in trouble like other men. That's the city of unwalled villages, man. That they just dwelleth without care. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment, and that's how America deals. And their pride levels are super high. And I heard Apostle Tahar say recently, and I was thinking this when I've been seeing this guy on screen, right? He said that the president of America is aging horribly, and he is. I started noticing, I was like, man, this guy really looks like he's not well, man. Like he's got some secret health problems or something like that. He looks strained out. That orange crazy madness that he has on his face, he's starting to look more pale. Like the guy looks like he's catching hell, man. And that's spiritual attacks that's happening to this guy, really. Right? It's a spiritual thing first, man. He stepped into the arena and he's trying to aim things towards the Israelites. But you don't get to just do that unscathed, man. And that goes for all you people out there. All you people out there that you want to be antagonistic to us Israelites, right? When it goes bad in your lives, don't be surprised, man. Because you messed with people that you shouldn't be messing with. You should have minded your business, got on with your life, and just tried to do things, go out as many places as you can while you got the chance, man. But instead, you people are trying to bother and disturb people that you ain't got no business, trying to mess with what we know why you do it. Matthew's 18:7, right? Woe to the world because of offences, for it must needs be that offences come, but woe to that man by whom the offence cometh. So people have to be made to be on this earth to offend anyone that believes in the Lord. But when you do it, you're going to be judged for that, though. You're going to be jacked up, man. Bad things are going to start happening in all your lives, and you're going to be made to regret what you did. Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. Psalm 73:7, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish, and America's got more than the heart could wish. Right? That's why when the scriptures speak about Babylon the Great, it goes into how they've got all these things that are in there. All the precious of this, precious of that, the best of this, the best of that. But yet for all that, it's still going to be destroyed, though. They are corrupt and speak wickedly. Concerning oppression, they speak loftily. And aren't they making now a Christopher Columbus Day again to celebrate that devil? But then at the same time, they want to complain about the German man with the dodgy mustache. So the German man with the dodgy mustache is a bad guy. And they'll say, oh, Kanye West, I can't believe that he's saying, heil this guy. But are you going to say that about who America's praising them? You hypocrite. Are you going to say that about who America's praising? Or is it only Israelites can't praise anyone that you think they can't praise? But then when your American, your own Edomite brothers do it, you ain't got nothing to say. The hypocrisy of you Edomites is got to be one of the worst things about you. The hypocrisy and that you think that you're good people. Those two traits that you Edomites all have, I find very disgusting. I find it sickening that you do something and don't bat an eyelid. Then you see somebody else do the same thing that you did, and now you're trying to, oh, I can't believe it. Use your suspects. Oh, 13% of people. Mate, what about all the crimes you do? If we ran the police force, right, how many of you do you think would be getting and put in jail for the things that you do right now? We wouldn't have to bait you into nothing. Just for the crime that you actually do right now. If we caught you doing those crimes, we ain't going to not add you to the stats of crime. We're going to add you there. Whereas when your own people catch you doing crimes, they don't add you onto the stats. And I don't believe those stats is the way that you say anyway, because if it was true, then anytime I see a so-called black person based on how you're trying to spin it, they'd always been committing a crime. But it's actually almost the reverse. When I see you Edomites a lot of the time, you're the ones committing crimes, man. And on these YouTube channels, I see the most outrageous crimes committed by your people. And you see it too. You just choose to ignore it because you're devils. And you're hypocrites, man. That pretend and fake to be righteous when you're not. Right? You're not righteous. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Verse 6, therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covers them as a garment, their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish, they are corrupt and speak wickedly, concerning oppression they speak loftily. You ain't getting reparations. You ain't getting reparations. Don't complain about what happened. You've never been a slave, but they'll complain about something in World War One, in World War Two. You didn't have a helmet on in World War One or Two, did you? You wasn't dodging shells. You wasn't dodging rounds, so you don't talk about World War One or Two then. How about that? But you Edomites always like to complain about things that you've never been through. But you want to tell everyone else, don't complain about anything that they've ever been through. How about you take your own advice? How about you don't complain about anything you've never been through either? How about you meet us halfway? Because you ain't doing the same thing that you tell everyone else to do. You ain't getting over things. Or you want to say, oh, we was Kangs and all this. Mate, you're the main people that was saying you was this and you was that. Oh, Britain used to be this. What's happened to London? I can't believe London's not. Is it Londonistan? Is it Londonistan now? Oh, I can't believe this. Oh, Birmingham ain't the same anymore. Oh, all our cities are gone to blah, blah. Well, that's how people feel about their countries that you've destroyed. That's how people feel about their whole country that you've destroyed, man. You're talking about a city. You complain about cities, but you've destroyed people's whole countries, mate. You've destroyed our own whole heritage. What are you talking about? All these black people that you complain about committing this and committing that. Don't try to like you ain't helped it be like that in any way. Don't even dare try and go on like, oh, I just don't know how they became like this. I don't know what happened. It's got to be genetic. No, it's not genetic, because when these people first interacted and came into contact with your people, they wasn't doing none of these things. There weren't no rap. There weren't no rap music to what people know about today before Israelites started being around you Edomites. There weren't no rap like that in that time, man. So what are y'all talking about? But nice try though. Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. And they covet fields and take them, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's what you did to the so-called black race, so-called Latino race, and so-called Native American race, which are all of them are Israelites. But you've also did that in everywhere else in the world. That you've been able to get away with it anyway. Destroyed everyone's heritage, man. Just destroyed people's lives. And got the nerve to try and act like you're actually some kind of good people, man. When you're a bunch of antagonistic devils. Always trying to troll people, trying to get a rise out of people. And then when they rise up, right, when all you people that are trying to rise up, trying to get the Israelites to rise up, and you're trying to, oh, let's see how far we can go with them. But you don't want to find out. Because when you go to your highest point, spiritual things are going to take place. Yahweh Shai is going to come back, and you don't believe it because of your arrogance. But it's going to happen though. And we can literally tell you what not to do, but your pride is going to make you still do it. If you want to keep being in charge of the world, do not go through with your plan to universally and globally get everyone to take that technology inside their body that you want to try and make them take. Don't do that if you want to still keep your kingdom. Now, I've told you what it is, but I know how proud you Edomites are, and you're still going to do it because you're dumb. But pretend that you're not. You know who we really are. At the highest level of your people, you know who we really are. Yet you're still going to do this. You've got telescopes aimed into the sky. You've seen some of the things that we haven't seen, that we talk about, that we believe in. You've seen more physical evidence of those things being a reality than what we've seen. And yet you're still going to go through with this. All you have to do, if you want to keep some kind of piece of a kingdom, don't have a World War III. You're still going to do it because you're proud. You're still going to try and do it, man. And then when you do it, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get destroyed for doing that. But hey, y'all are going to find out, man. Verse 3, therefore saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, and that's you Edomites. Yahweh is devising evil against you, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. Because Esau always likes to try and come up with some dumb banter and some dumb joke in an awkward moment to try. If we don't laugh, we'll cry. Mate, shut up, man. The day is gonna come where your nation's only crying. Same way you've made everyone else be doing that. The same way you people have gone around the world destroying everyone else's countries. You're gonna be destroyed, man. Because you should have just stayed in your own land. You like to boast in America and talk like the nerve of you people to try and say, if you don't like it, if you don't like this, if you don't like that, go back to Africa. The nerve to say that. When here's the thing, if every single so-called black person went to Africa, I guarantee they'd find you over there. It's not like that's And no Edomite zone where Esau's like, man, nah, we just never go to Africa because that belongs to black people, which it don't, by the way. That's not our land. Our land is Israel. And you know that as well, but you lie. And if you're an Edomite that is not aware of who that we are the real Israelites, right? You're not as switched on with things as you think you are. You're not initiated in your own Edomite people's true understanding of how this world goes. Because the true Edomites that are at the highest level on this earth, they really know who we are for real. So if you are not aware of that yet, you ain't as high ranking among your own people as you think you are. Same thing with all these other nations. All the top level of all of these nations outside of the children of Israel, the real ones, right? They all know who the real children of Israel are. If you're not alert to that right now, you ain't as switched as you think you are. You ain't as up on things as you think. Your IQ, as you like to claim, is nowhere near as high as you think it is. Micah chapter 2 and verse 4. In that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people. However, he removed it from me, turning away. He have divided our field, and that's what you do all around the earth. But then when the people actually try and find a place to live then, because the place that they are from is destroyed, and it happens to be a place that you live, right? Well, then now you want to complain about immigration. But had you have not destroyed these people's countries and took the best of their doctors, their technicians, their engineers, and brought them over to your country, then what would you be saying? Is that not what Trump's trying to do right now with this whole tariff thing? Is he not saying, if you move and bring your things over to America and start building your things in America, I won't give you no tariffs? Is he not saying that? But if the Edomites are so smart, he wouldn't need to do that though. Just keep it in-house. But he's still just trying to gather the people from where they are and to take the best of other nations' wisdom and make it give honor unto their country. That's literally what he's trying to do. If you pay attention to what he's trying to do, that is what he's trying to do. But then they complain about this and complain about that. So it's okay for you to take the best of someone else's country and make them come to your country to build things to give honor unto your country. But then they're not able to do it for their own country while they're doing it for yours. But then you'll complain about immigration. But you took the best of their people and brought them there. But you wouldn't like it if someone did that to you. Because you're a bunch of hypocrites, man. And this is why people are starting to despise you. And they might not say openly in your face, but they are starting to realize what it really is down here. The world's starting to despise you, Edomites, man. They're starting to realize that you people are hypocrites and that you're full of shit. Like you're a bunch of see you next Tuesdays, mate. They're starting to really realize that, man. And they're starting to realize that the true way of how people think is not outside in the public. It's online. And what they hear you say online is how you really think about people. Right, that's the way you really think is all the things that you say online when you're running your mouths. How you run your mouths online, man. And let's go to Revelation 18, because when America gets destroyed, it's going to humble all the house of Edom. All their whole ugly house, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and it's become a habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. And if that's what you Edomites thought that had not been remembered, you thought, oh, we can we can mash down our statues, and we can start changing history. You can't change history in the Heavenly Father's eyes, though. You could make everyone on earth forget, but you can't make Yahweh forget, though, because he made you to destroy you. That's what you don't understand as well. The lower level Edomites, you don't understand that. The higher level ones, you know, if you was to see a video like this, you would know that I'm telling the truth. but you haven't enlightened the rest of your people though, because you don't even like them either. You don't like them. You're just with your group, your particular one from whatever Duke of Edom that you're from. You're just rocking with them, and you don't even have no honor towards your own people, and that's okay. I don't like them neither, so I can understand why you don't like them. But Yahweh don't like you or them. He don't like none of you, and you're not likable anyway. It's not like Esau is just such a righteous nation, right? That and Yahweh just destroying them for no wants to Obadiah want them 18 them for no reason. No, they're not nice people anyway. They're not good people. They're not kind-hearted. They're not righteous in any kind of way. They're evil and they're wicked, like clearly. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And that's why everywhere that you go in the world, really, you can see like a memorial or like a tribute to America there. You can see some kind of evidence that America being here. They know about America over here. You can go to Egypt and get a chicken Big Mac. You can go to Egypt and get a chicken Big Mac. America's being here. These people know about America over here. You can get a delivery of a Big Mac in Egypt, mate. You can get a delivery of it. They've got McDonald's in China. They've got McDonald's pretty much in every single country in this world, showing that America's gave an influence to them in some way. They have a Coca-Cola and all these things, or they have their version of a thing that's Edomites do, because all the nations have committed fornication with you, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, and that's the only reason why anybody likes you, Edomites. Let's be clear. At work, right? When you're at work and you might be the manager or you Edomite side, and you're thinking, oh, everyone's laughing at your dumb jokes because you're funny. No, they're laughing because they can get some money, and they've considered in their mind. So you're telling me that if I can get promotion by just laughing at one or two of these dumb, ugly idiots jokes, I'll laugh then. What? The chicken crossed over the road for what? Oh man, you should be a comedian. And then you're there, mate. You're not funny. You're dumb. And when you're not there, they're talking bad about you, and you might think, oh, but if they're not brave enough to say it in my face, I don't care what they say behind my back. No, the things that these people are saying behind your back, all you Edomites in general, is gonna turn into a physical thing one day. It's going to turn into something physical one day, man. They're against you, right? They're conspiring against you. All your friends, or who you think are your friends, they're conspiring on how to take you down one day. And they're going to succeed with it too. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? You've been made small among all the nations outside of yourself. They don't like you no more. And Mr. DJT has helped this happen, has accelerated this. He's been a great catalyst for Edomite despising, because his pride levels are sky high. Plus the guy that's the head of the so-called Israel, right? So-called Israel country right now. So he's helped you be despised as well, because you're both hypocrites, right? Verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, who saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. And that's what y'all don't understand. You're going to be cast down, man. You're going to. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape growers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning? Would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Well, part of it is the people that was in allies with you have said, been like, okay, you're trying to short on our portion? We're snitching. These Hermes bags, these Birkin bags, they're not worth 100,000. We spend 1,000 pounds making these, $1,000. They're scamming you, right? we're scamming you. Come to our country and we'll give you these bags for the price, for the statement price. We'll just break even. And just wait till other countries start dealing with you all like that and start revealing what you're really up to, man. And start being like, man, these people are trying to go on like the this and the that. No, we're snitching. We're going to start baiting out all the things that these people do that are corrupt. And the country Israel might say, you know what, you don't want to help me? You don't want to help me fight these Hamas? All right, I'm snitching that we're not really the Israelites then. So you better help me. Or I'm snitching. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell the world, you know what, we ain't really the ones. And that's the thing that they've always got over this rest of the Edomites' head. That they can just be like, you know what? Oops. The cat's out the bag. We're not really the Israelites. You know who is? Those people in America. Those people that call themselves Native Americans are as well. And the Mexicans. And here's all the data, work proof. But the average Edomite don't know nothing about this. They'll hear these points and they'll think it's BS. But then at the same time, they'll believe every other conspiracy theory. They'll believe a conspiracy theory about how, oh man, what's some of the crazy ones? About how every single so-called Caucasian elite is really a lizard. They'll believe that. But us being the Israelites, nah, there's no possible way. Or Yahweh Shai being a so-called black man, according to what the world would call him, oh nah, that's absolutely ridiculous. No one's ever seen him. Have you ever seen a human be a lizard? No, you haven't. But you believe that though. Have you ever seen a human go from being an ape to being a human? Nah, but you're trying to be funny now and say, yeah, you black people did. Yeah, that's real funny, mate. That's real funny. Yeah, we really look like apes, don't we? No, we don't, mate. No, we don't. But these are the lies that you people want to try and come with. You'll say that we look like apes, but then when LeBron James does a crazy dunk or something like that, then you'll get your children to wear a basketball jersey with his name on it back. Why do you want your child copying an ape for then? Why? But again, have you Edomites ever seen an animal evolve, an ape ever evolve into anything other than an ape? Why are there still so many apes then and all these things if they evolved into humans? But you'll believe that? But us being the Israelites, nah, that's absolutely ridiculous. There's no chance. You'll believe that a 6'5" man can be a woman if he says he is. Put a pigtails in his hair and do a 600-pound deadlift and break the women's world record or whatever, right? And you'll be like, nah, he's a woman because he said he's one. In fact, what is a woman anyway? At the end of the day, what is a woman? What is like? Who is it? How do you know I am or I ain't a woman? You're an idiot. You're stupid. And these will be these so-called high IQ people that make these things, that talk about these kind of things, man. You're a bunch of idiots, man. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Remember that were at peace with thee, have deceived thee because you're trying to shorten their portions. They're like, okay, we see the trajectory of what you're doing. You caused for Ukraine to get into war. Now that they're losing, you're saying, okay, we'll help you out, but we want $500 million worth of resources. You know what I mean? We want $500 million worth of resources and then we'll help you out. After they're in the mud now, stuck in the mud, you'll be like, well, okay, you want to get out of that mud? We want $500 million worth of resources and we're going to put it in a joint pot and just split the even Stevens. Yeah, right? America don't know nothing about even Stevens, they know about all theirs, and we'll break you off a little bit, man. Like how they dealt with the Native Americans, who are Israelites, by the way, and was like, we'll have all this land and we'll give you a reservation. What are you talking about? It's all ours. What are you talking about? How are you going to reserve me something that's mine? What are you on about? Verse 7 again, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. And that's what you Edomites don't understand. All these people that you think are your friends and your allies, they're deceiving you. Even your own Edomite people. All these people that you've tried to say, oh, put a sanction on this one and that one. And you said, don't deal in business with these people. Mate, they're dealing. You just don't know about it. And they're considering, okay, why are they saying that we shouldn't deal with them? And they'll start looking at the things that these countries have. Okay, they have this resource and that resource and this thing. and that thing, and they're closer to us than this country that we deal with now, and they're closer to us here, and closer. Their prices are lower here, and here. So why is it that we shouldn't deal with them again? It would actually be more beneficial for us to deal with them than who America's saying that we should deal with. So you know what? I'm gonna start dealing with them, and they're gonna start realizing that America is messing up the progress of their country, and that America just wants itself to be good, but then everyone else to not be. Proof of that is this whole tariff situation. They're slapping out tariffs on everyone, right? But then at the same time, they need all of these things from the world, from everyone. You can't make a country based off slavery, right? And then think that you're gonna one day build it stronger from your own hard work. You didn't build it from your hard work to begin with. So the only way to keep the country going would be to do what you founded it on, which is the plan. And that's why they want to give everybody the micro C hip, so that they can put everyone in a technological slavery and force them to work for daily bread. I was reading an article in a newspaper just yesterday, in fact, where it was going into how a lot of workers refuse to take their annual leave. They refuse to take their annual leave because they're scared that they can be let off work. They're scared that they'll be fired for not being productive enough in the company. And some of these people are people that make 100,000 a year. They was checking it, going into it all, man. So then even when people get these high amounts of money, they're scared to lose their job still. And they just become a slave to their job, working all day, and they end up not taking any of their annual leave. A whole 28 days, a whole month pretty much of time that they can have away from work, they end up not taking. Which is dumb, by the way. And then even yesterday, which I saw the video before anyway, but I was watching one video from a brother, and it was an Eve that showed up to work when she's not supposed to be there and got fired on her day off and arrested, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen nobody do that before in real life. Be at work when they've been told that they're not there, not been told, oh, you're fired, just, oh, you're not meant to be in today. And she's talking about, I'm on the schedule, knowing damn well she's not, and refused to leave and got arrested and trespassed from her own workplace. So now you damn sure ain't going to be on the schedule ever again now. I ain't never seen nobody do that. But Eve's been made bogged out down here, and that's, again, you Edomites doing, man. Because you've told the Israelite woman that she's better than the Israelite man, when, trust me, oh my days, she's not better than us. We're the head of our nation. But you've told her that she's better than us and tried your best to make it seem as though that's true by giving her opportunities in this world and trying to, every single time when we make a way for ourselves, try and stop that, to try and destroy our nation. But no other nation out there in this world says that they're better than their men the same way how our women say that they're better than us. I don't hear the so-called white women say that about her men. I don't really hear them talk that kind of way. Or they might say it for some BS feminism kind of talking points. But when it really gets down to it, they shut their mouth. But then that's end up backfiring on you Edomites as well, because now men of other nations are starting to look at your women and be like, okay, since my own woman is destroyed of my nation, well, I'm going to go and get some of your women in. And then when you see a so-called black man, a so-called Indian man, a so-called Chinese man walking on the street with a woman that you think you deserve, well, now you don't get her, because these men would have dealt with the women from their own nation had you have not destroyed their women and turned their women against them. But you didn't consider these things when you was going around the earth destroying everybody. Verse 8, Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So all this pride about you thinking, oh man, we don't need to talk about this slave. I'm actually honored about the slavery that we did to these people. No, you're not. It's a shame. That's fake pride, man. That's a shame that you're not gonna be able to take off you. It's not. It's gonna follow you around now, and it's for damn sure gonna follow you around in the kingdom of the children of Israel. When every single day you're gonna be remembering all the little, from the smallest thing that you did to the greatest. Oh, I remember that time when Jamal and me was working on the power plant, and I saw Jamal go for a break, and I told him, "Don't worry, Jamal. I'll do both of our work at this time, so that you can go on a quick toilet break, because they don't give us no toilet breaks on here. So I'm gonna do that, and then don't worry, I got your back, man. I got your back. Yeah, safe. I'll spud you. Yeah, yeah, safe. Yeah." As soon as Jamal went to the toilet, you ran to the manager and start snitching. Oh man, he's always taking extra toilet breaks. Oh man, that's what you Edomites did. I remember one elder was telling a story about that. That Edomites complained about, oh, he always comes from his break late. Why? And trying to get him fired. Why? Why would you do that? You're smiling up in his face, but then you try and get him fired. Why would you do that? Because you're demons. He said that this Edomite was smiling up with him every single day in his face, and then try to get him fired afterwards. That's wicked. But I already know that Edomites do stuff like that because I've had them do it to me before in life. I already know how Esau deals, man. And it will be the most smiling in your face devil that will be like that. The most wannabe man of the people, normally some clean shaven demon, trying to front like they're a nice person and they're really a piece of shit. That's their real image. Yeah? That's the real way that they are, man. Fronting like y'all good people. No, you ain't, man. No, you're not. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, should be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? You ain't gonna be able to hide your face from the shame in the kingdom. You're gonna remember all the small things that you did to antagonize. When you followed around a so-called black woman in the store, an old granny that you know ain't stealing. Followed her around to make her uncomfortable in the store. When you followed around an old so-called black man, knowing that they ain't stealing. When you overly checked a so-called black man or black woman or black teenager's ticket on a train. Because it might have been a ticket that you think they can't afford. It might have been a season pass and you're like, mate, it's legit, mate. Get out of their face. Check the ticket the same way you check everyone else's and move. Oh, can I just check that ticket, mate? Can I just check that? All the small things, man. When you saw a name that you thought was a bit ethnic, when you had the CVs and you just threw them ones in the bin. All these things, man. Or when you saw a CV that you thought was a bit ethnic and was like, I'm gonna bring them in for questioning, just so that I can not give them the job. All these small things that y'all did, man. When an Israelite came to a restaurant and you spat in their food, you're gonna pay for these things too. When an Israelite came into a restaurant and you served everybody else first, even though they came in there first and then served them last, these things too. When you took a long time to bring them the bill, but then at the same time would complain that they don't pay. But when now that they're coming to the point in the restaurant where they want to pay, you're taking long to do that. These are all things that you Edomites do in life. When you've gone around the world and spread rumors about so-called black people and said that we're this and said that we're that, to the point where people that have never even met us have got a negative image of us based on things that you say. All these things you're going to pay for. All the violence that you've done against us, man. All of it. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive the forces and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. So you helped in that time in Babylon. When the Israelites got taken down, you was there helping. But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. You should have even looked in our direction. But you looked and you helped. And right now you're doing the same thing. You're looking and laughing.
You're talking about usual suspects and all this stuff. You're laughing and mocking us, man. But then at the same time, you're bitter that you ain't got the birthright. All these things that you are mocking about us, right? If you ended up being the chosen instead of us like you wanted, you would have had to go through them. So you're despising the path that the children of Israel have to go through to become the true rulers of this world. But that's what you're also mad with us for taking. Don't you understand that? All the hell that we're catching as the children of Israel is because we've got the birthright that you think that we stole, but really it was always ours in the first place. But now that you're despising us, you're actually despising what position you're angry at us for taking from you. And that's how dumb you are. You're despising that that we're gonna get everlasting life and all these things, but that comes from keeping the law. Ultimately, that's the main way how it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen through Yahweh Shai, but Yahweh Shai is gonna give us the ability to keep all the law. But you Edomites hate the law. But then at the same time, you're envious of us that we're gonna be the chosen, but you hate the law. The law is gonna be one of the things that's gonna make us win, but you hate that thing. And this is what I mean about how dumb you are. You're dumb, man. You're a bunch of dumb Edomites. I can't stand y'all. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 12. But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Israel in the day of their destruction, and you've rejoiced in the past, and you rejoice now. Or use your suspects. You don't consider how it is that you see these people stealing all the time. But then you understand how it is that your own Edomite people don't have a job. You'll understand that. But you don't understand how it is that these people don't have things. And you'll say use your suspects and blah blah, the N-words, this and that, when a so-called black person steals. But then are they an N-word when it's a so-called white person stealing? You'll make an Edomite woman rich for swearing at, which it wasn't even an Israelite anyway, it was some kind of Somalian or Cushite or something like that. They're not our people, right? They know they're not our people, and we know they're not our people. So you saying that they're our people, that don't mean nothing. We know that we're not the same. But they'll swear at a 5-year-old kid with autism, right? And become worth $500,000. And then you Edomites actually think you're doing something. Mate, making that woman rich for saying that is no different than when you dumb clowns made a woman rich for saying, you gotta have to spit on that thing, you get me? Like, mate, that's no different than making her rich. And what did she end up doing? She made a meme coin and scammed all of y'all. Making her rich for saying that ain't no different than making that woman rich for saying that. It's dumb. And more than likely, some of these things are staged. Like I've been hearing brothers say, some of these things are staged. But you Edomites with your so-called high Q, you're dumb. You don't know what's going on, man. You Edomites will believe anything that you get told to make you hate another race. I've heard Edomites say to me before, all right, mate, never shake, yeah? Never shake a Muslim's left hand. Like, why? Oh, because that's the hand I use to wipe their ass with, mate. Okay, so which hand of yours should I shake then? Haha, fair play, mate. I never thought about it like that, actually. Yeah, because you're dumb. You're dumb, mate. Never shake this and that, mate. Which hand of anyone don't people have to use one hand to wipe somewhere? You know what I mean? You wash it though. You know what I mean? But I've heard Edomites say these things to me. If there's a reason to not like somebody and to want to not like them, it shouldn't be because they wipe their bum. If anything, it should be because they don't wipe it, which is the path that you Edomites seem to want to take more. And you don't believe me? Look up a family online called the Whitakers. The Whitakers, man. One of them barks like a dog. He just barks. If you think I show speed's bad, no. I show speed, and that guy would have a bark off me. But that guy, I show speed just renting the barking language. The other guy seemed like he was born with that. Now how Bane said, "Oh, you merely inherited the darkness. I was born with it." I show speed inherited the bark. This Whitaker cat, or this dirty ass family of Edomites, He was born with that, man. And that's why when you Edomites try and boast in yourselves, I think, mate, y'all are all really on Whitaker status. You've just been able to be given speech and a few suits and a bit of technology, man, but you all ain't really no different than that level. And that's a really destroyed Edomite family, man. They're destroyed. But that's how y'all are going to go back to in the kingdom. That's what y'all came from. And that's what y'all are going to go back to. The best one of you sold his birthright. Esau himself is the best of what y'all can be. And he sold his birthright, mate. And if he was to be reincarnated right now and be dwelling among America or whatever, he'd still be a dummy anyway. He wouldn't be able to transcend any further than this. He can't help you either. Verse 14. In fact, verse 13. No, in fact, for the last bit of verse 12. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress, which you did. We're distressed right now, and y'all are still talking smack about us, man. Our usual suspects are 13% is doing 13% things and all this madness that you talk. Just adding extra fuel to the fire. Verse 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. And that's what you did. Back then and now. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. Exactly. So all the ones that you caught, you delivered them up. Back in Babylon. You did that, man. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So all the things that you did and all the things that you're going to do, just know that Yahweh's got a right-hand side, a righteous version of all those things. Book breaking is absolutely disgusting. But Yahweh's got a right-hand alternative that doesn't involve the children of Israel having to devour themselves by doing wickedness of such a thing. To cannibalize somebody is absolutely disgusting. But you Edomites have done that. But just know that Yahweh's got a right-hand side alternative that doesn't require for the children of Israel to go to those dark depths. But there's right-hand alternatives of all these things, because a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. And everyone's always on this earth has had to pay for the things that they do to the children of Israel. You're no different. And America's going to be destroyed, man. America's going to be destroyed. When you're reading the scriptures about Babylon the Great, that is talking about America. And I was reading it at the beginning of the lesson. Let me go back and read a bit more, and I can end. Right? America's going to be destroyed, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh have avenged you on her. So that place is going to be cast down, man. It's going to be. Whereas they thought in their mind, no, it wasn't, but it is going to. Right? And on that, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.